Is it possible to make money selling other people's products? Of course, it's possible, and in this video you learn how my mentor Paul made $750 selling other people's products. So make sure you watch this video until the end to learn how to make money by selling other people's products.
Okay, so this is the downside for, just in case you're taking notes, and this is for other people's products. So what was your second option? Right? So if this is an affiliate product here, option number one. Option number two was create your own. Now, what's the upside of creating your own products? Okay, well, there's plenty, lots of upsides. We'll talk about those for a minute. So the upside, of course, is you have full ownership of the product. If you were selling it, you have 100% of the profit margin. It's all yours. It can build your credibility, definitely. It gives you the opportunity of having multiple products. You can start with one and then you can create more. And of course, you have control over the pricing, right? You could, for example, give away cheaper products, give away discounts and run promotions. Because if you don't, for example, that's another disadvantage here for number one of affiliate products is you have no control on the price. Because you'll know, like on Black Friday or Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, there's all these deals that come out from companies that have various products and services. But the challenge is you obviously like to discount it and give people a reason why they must do it at a particular time. But if it's not your product, you don't have that option to control the price point. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So what about so we talked about the advantages of creating your own product, but this is where teaching thousands of students comes into its own. Is when you show people how to create your own product, you really start to see your own the disadvantages. Okay, the first one really would be that it's outside of people's comfort zone. Okay, and anything that's out of people's comfort zones is highly unlikely that they'll continue to do it for a while. Okay, so it's something they may have probably never done before. So it became difficult due to lack of coaching. Okay, now obviously the difficulties could be fixed if you did the next thing. If you actually paid for somebody to teach you, so that would mean that the costs started to mount. Okay, that the costs mount quickly, especially if you didn't know how. What else? Well, in order to create the product, you need to purchase softwares like Camtasia. But this is just actually getting the product created. Of course, it assumes you have an expertise, right? So let's write that one down there. Well, do you have the expertise? Okay. Shahid, what are the best affiliate sites? Yeah, we'll come to all of that, Shahid. Paul, what was the typical sales value of a product that earned you $20? Good question, John. So for me to earn $20, that was usually about a 50% commission. Okay, about a 50% commission. Now, the variety in commissions of affiliate sales can be anywhere from as low as 5%, like somebody like Amazon, who don't really need your help, to actually some people give up to 90% and even 100% of the product price point away at the start. And this used to really surprise me, especially when I got started. I didn't understand why somebody would be able to give away the product to you, give you 100%. But of course, the reason they were doing this was because of number two here, right? And the first one, they were a better marketer than you. So they knew as soon as they had that email address of that customer, they were going to make that money back and so much more. And of course, if they were keeping you, the affiliate marketer, happy, giving you 100%, you probably keep coming back, promoting more and more for them. So it was a win-win. So going back to creating your own product, I'm a big fan of it, but in the right context, right? So it's outside of your comfort zone. It's difficult due to lack of coaching. It costs mount quickly. You need to purchase softwares. The expertise, of course, you need to have it in the first place. Number 6, right? Your voice and face will be recorded. Your voice and face on camera. Now, you don't necessarily have to go on camera, but you're not far off it. You're certainly going to have your voice recorded. So you're putting yourself out there, okay? And now, I know for some people that's not a problem, but for others, it's you. So you're going public, right? You're declaring to the world, I'm ready to go out there. I'm ready to because once you realize, as soon as you create a product and once you go public, you got to realize that you're about to attract haters. People are going to see, people are going to knock you down, just like other people are going to build you up. But you just need to toughen up and realize that you're going to get both, right, as soon as you go live. Kirsten is saying, I can't see other people's questions. Yeah, you won't, Kirsten. I'm the only one that's able to see them, so I'm reading them from the screen up here. Isn't that assuming that the product is training? Yeah, Teresa, it is. So what else, Teresa, are you thinking about in terms of your own product? I can get back to that. Norman, your writing is difficult to read. Oh, I would have thought my writing, I can see my own writing. I think it's pretty okay to read, to be honest. Yeah, no problem, Norman. I appreciate your feedback, but I always testing, always to kind of provide to see what might work better for people. So I suppose I do write a little bit like a child. Okay, so straight away, lots of people are saying, I can read it fine, no problem. Okay, as I say, you're always going to get a mixture, just like with something like this. Like this could be, for example, creating a new product. Okay, so you'll get a bit of both. What is the whiteboard system that I'm using? It's called Notability, Notability. Okay, so Teresa says, what about something like aromatherapy products, which I'm just about to launch on my own website, but want to get a bigger market? Okay, okay, so you would have had, I guess, the creation costs for most people to go and actually be able to create your own aromatherapy products. So I'm assuming from what you're saying there, Teresa, is that you're making these up yourself. Otherwise, you're selling other people's products. So am I assuming that you're actually making up these products yourself, the aromatherapy products? You are. Okay, so you have the expertise. So I said you need to have that, right? You won't have to put your voice or face on camera potentially, but on your website, this is the big thing. This is the biggest challenge, and you're going to have that same challenge too, is this. You need to have a very compelling sales page or sales video, right? This is the most critical of all, right? You need to have a very compelling sales page or sales video, because the product, it doesn't matter, Teresa, for example, with your aromatherapy products, it may be amazing, but if you don't have them marketed and branded properly and really make it a no-brainer for people, then there's something wrong. Okay, Dave, what do you say, Dave? Hi, Paul, I can't see anything on a whiteboard, only two pictures of you. Okay, well, that's weird. You should certainly be able to see a whiteboard, Dave. I think pretty much everybody else can. Okay? How do you learn to copyright? Beatrice, exactly, right? So this is where the challenge is. If you want to do a sales page, or if you want to create a sales page, you need to learn how to become a copywriter, which is an expensive business. It's trial and error, and it's extremely time consuming. I'm not a big fan of it, as in I don't want to learn it. I'd much rather somebody else did the copy for me. So these are just some of the main challenges here. As I said, I'm not against doing it, but I tell you what I'm a big fan of is selling other people's products while you're in the process of creating your own. So the money is all coming in, right? It's coming in to begin with. Because I can tell you, if you're creating products and you actually have no money coming in and you're really stressed money-wise, the product is not going to be as good as it could be, because that stress almost comes out of the product. You're desperate. You really, really need to make it work, and you don't see anything else coming in. And you kind of lose sight of the bigger picture, right? So the other thing, number 9, is follow-up. Okay? People generally are not going to buy on the first time of asking. Does anybody know tonight that's here, on average, how many times does somebody need to see a product or a service before they buy? See, okay, Beautiful. Most of you got it right. 7 is apparently the magic number, right? Imagine that. You need to see something 7 times or so before you actually get around to buying it. So if I kept going here, like follow-up could actually mean, for example, telesales, like getting onto the phone, right, and closing a sale, right? Now, I don't know how many of you at home like getting on the phone and calling people up and say, hey, I see you were interested in this. You left your number. Can I talk to you about product X, product Y, product Z? It's difficult. It's difficult, and you better get used to rejection pretty quickly, because most of the sales calls you make will result in rejection. If you've ever worked, I haven't done this, but I kind of feel sorry for those people that call to my door selling different things, because I don't think I've ever said yes to any one of them in my entire life. I don't, in most cases, I don't even open the door. So, selling is the biggest and the most challenging part of the whole thing. So even if you get your product done, and this applies, by the way, if you write your own book, for example, same type of thing, right? Because so that's an example of a product. It's creating a book, right? So I'm drawing a little diagram here for you where we've got time on the x-axis and energy on the y-axis. So when you're actually writing your book, right, when you decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to write a book, right, your energy is up high, okay, and then it slowly drops and 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 drops. And then you might just pause for a while and do nothing and then continue. And eventually it goes to an editor, right? Now I feel this pain more than most, I guess, because I'm actually launching my own book. I'll do a webinar about that actually closer to the time. I'm launching my own book on Valentine's Day. Finally, Rethink Social Media is coming out. I finished writing it. I'm just so excited about it, because the cover is going to be decided on Monday, and then we're moving on next to finishing off the insights, right, just the graphics and so on. So I'll let you know about that more detail later. But basically, what happens is it goes to the editor, the energy drops again, the time drops, and you've gone to the trouble of creating the product. And then finally, when the book is ready to launch, I'm speaking to many marketers about this, and authors specifically, they almost can't bring themselves to even read the book. And it's like, oh God, if I started the book again now, it would be completely different. And that's an example of creating a product, right? It can really suck your time, suck your energy, suck your confidence. And this is when you need to start doing this. What does M&S stand for? Anybody know? Hopefully you'll remember this from now on. Every time you pass M&S, right? Not instead of Marks and Spencer's, marketing and sales, right? Marketing and sales. And that's exactly why, and somebody else is saying it's just like recording an album. Absolutely, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. Kathy saying it was like when I did my master's, it completely put me off doing a PhD, right? Each of those are actually like a product, right? It's so much effort. So when you come to this point where you actually need to do your marketing and sales down here, you're just, people buy based on your level of enthusiasm and your level of energy. And if you're like so done with the product at that time, people are not going to buy into it. So what I suggest to you, and those of you that have been to my workshop know this, I suggest you do your marketing and sales right at the start. That you sell before the product is even created. You do, for example, a pre-order page, right, where you encourage people to buy the product based on the cover. Because just like your parents told you, never judge a book by its cover. As much as you try, it's next to impossible not to judge a book by its cover. That's just what we do, right? And all people need in order to buy a book is they need to see what the title is, what the cover is, and what's it about. So you could actually start selling books before you ever decide if you're going to write it, which is certainly a concept that I would suggest that you look at potentially if you want to write your own. But I suppose the main reason why I want to share this with you is, so they were the biggest challenges of the students. To get them to do this, to create their own products, I mean, it would be great if you did, because you could obviously get affiliates to sign up to you and they would sell their products for you and so on. And I've done webinars on that already. But the problem for me as the teacher, right, was that you knew that there was such a low likelihood of people actually doing that, to actually, first of all, create a product or write a book or create a video course. And because there were just so many different levels of knowledge required, that had actually nothing to do with marketing. Creating a product, creating a service, and doing all, that's not marketing, that's product creation. So that's another skill set on top of what you needed to learn, which was online marketing. So what I had been looking for a number of years was, is there a solution out there where the online marketing students, which you guys are, could do what you want to do, which is what? Online marketing. That you actually just focus on the marketing side of things. Because if you could do that, and the issues of products and services and those things could be addressed, well, fantastic. Then let's just get good at that one thing. So you've heard me before, or if you've heard me before, you know that I'm a big fan of this kind of idea that of what we do with online marketing, that on the left-hand side, that we have a regular person here who has normal problems, and then we have a person on the right-hand side here who's a business owner who is struggling. 97% of them go out of business in the first 10 years. So they're looking for more customers. The person on the left is looking for solutions to the problems. And this is the idea of affiliate marketing, is that the business owner here on the right, so let me just put down here business, and this is client. All right, I have to tell you already, I way prefer this now to PowerPoint presentations, because it gives me so much opportunity as thoughts and tangents come into my head to make this clearer. So hopefully, and those of you, the two of you that didn't really like it, that the other 400 plus of you do enjoy this. So the business, right, I get their contact details, right, and I sign up completely for free to their product. And as soon as that happens, I then introduce this person to their product, and this person pays me. Right? That's how the loop works. This person gives me their products for free, right? This person buys the product, and they give me, so if they give $2, they give me $1 back, and the loop keeps going. So I promote, they give me X, I promote X, they buy X for $2, and the promoter gives me $1 back. That's how affiliate marketing works. Now, the interesting thing here is, I'm meant to be seeing your screen, as I can only see you on the sofa. Oh yeah, Julie, you should be able to see a screen. Make sure there's a whiteboard there that you should be able to see everything that I'm showing here. I'm drawing all of this out for you at the moment on your screen. So press a few buttons there in front of you. It's probably hidden on one of the web pages that you have open. So have a look around there, Julie. It is there. So I'm drawing this whole thing out for you at home. It must be really weird if you're just looking at me looking at an iPad. That's just bizarre. No, I'm drawing out all of this graphics. I can show you here. Right, these are the graphics I'm drawing out in front of you there. Okay, so just have a look around there, Julie, and you'll find it. Okay, so this is what is how I suggest you get started. Right, you find a product, and this is the thing. I mentioned this today at my workshop, guys. When I started in 2009, right, I signed up for 3 different workshops. I did nothing after the first one. I did nothing after the second one. Couldn't choose a niche. A little bit overwhelmed. Went to the third one. I quit my job at this stage. I was completely broke. And while I was at the third one, the promoter I was introduced to the organizer because he heard I got 7,000 followers in 7 days, right? He was very interested in that. And he said, Paul, you know what would be better than 7,000 followers in 7 days? Making some money from it. And of course I agreed. So he said, why don't you make some money from your 7,000 Twitter followers? And I said to him, well, I'm all ears, right? I'd love to know how to do that, okay? So he said to me, just sell a product. I said to him, I'd love to, but I don't have any. He looked confused and looked back at me and he said, what do you mean? Because what the bit that I haven't told you is that the entire morning session of that workshop that I've attended was about how to sell other people's products, right? It was all about how to sell other people's products. So he looked very confused because he said, hang on a second. Did you get in late or something? Because I've been showing you all day about how to sign up to other people's products. I said, oh yeah, that affiliate marketing stuff. Yeah. I said, that sounds amazing, but I don't think it's for me. Now, he kind of wondered about this. He said, what do you mean this isn't for me? I said, because to be honest, I wouldn't be very comfortable selling other people's products, especially if I haven't tested it. Right? And he looked at me a little bit flabbergasted, and he said, he said, okay, Mother Teresa, you can spend the next 5 years buying other people's products. And then at the end of those 5 years, deciding if you think those products work or not and go broke very quickly. Or you can use a magic tool called Google. You can type in the name of the product, and after the name of the product, write in reviews, and you'll be able to find out from the people who've already bought that product what they think. Suddenly, it dawned on me that my first thought was, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, well, why didn't you say that earlier? Because that was the perfect explanation. That was the perfect explanation for me. I just didn't think of it in that way. Of course. He said, what do you do when you're thinking of buying a book on Amazon? Do you read the book first and then pay for it later? Of course not. You look at the reviews first for the book, and then you make your decision, right? So it really started to make sense to me. And he said, so I said, okay, so that makes sense now, but what products will I promote? And he looked at my laptop, and I had a software installed on it that he'd actually recommended that flashed the goals on the screen every 5 seconds, flashed my goals on the screen every 5 seconds. So it was subliminal power or something like that. And it was supposed to help you subliminally pick up on your goals. And he said, oh, I see you're using subliminal power. How's that going for you? I said, you know what, actually, excellent. I've quit my job 3 years sooner than planned. Also, I had met my fitness goals. I put in there, I think I was going to learn how to meditate, all that stuff. Why? Because I quit my job. I had loads of free time, but I put in no goals around money. So he said, okay, well, why don't you just sign up and promote that? Now, remember, this is why I totally empathize with you guys, right? And I know this is why so many of you are here, is that you don't fully understand this, okay? I'm sorry, I'm just reading. Yeah, Rory, I'll get to that in just one moment. Andrew, what you say is really true. I have sold 5,000 items, my own handmade products, in a 12-month period for an average price of 12 each, right? Not made more than, yeah, exactly. So you've sold 5,000 products at £12 or $12, whichever that is. So that's a hell of a lot of work and an amazing job to sell that many. But that's called a low ticket product. So I'm going to, I'll get into that in more detail. I'm just enjoying reading your comments here. So this is the bit, and some of you, can I see by show of hands how many of you have actually been shown before how to sign up to sell somebody else's product? How many of you have actually been shown that? Okay, loads of you. Okay, the reason I asked that was because he spent the morning showing that, but because I had tuned out, I was kind of going, yeah, this is great, but it's not for me. I actually wasn't really listening. So when I actually had to say to him, sorry, can you show me what you mean? So he got frustrated. He got really frustrated actually, but he ended up becoming my first mentor though. But he actually went to the website. He said, go to the website where you bought it. I said, I don't remember where I bought it. He said, geez, you could see his frustration. He said, just Google the product. So we Googled it, we found it. So we went to the sales page where the product was sold, a normal website, and scroll down to the bottom of the page. Right? He said, go down to the bottom because that's where marketers go. The rest is for customers. And look for a link that says either affiliates or partners. Right? Anything that says affiliates or partners. And this is the bit I want you to get. Okay? Once you click in there, it will give you a link, and it's going to ask you to register. And it's going to ask you for your name, your email address, your name and your email address, your PayPal address, and your house address. So like most people, well, I think most people, I was hesitant to give my home address. I said, ooh, do I have to put in my real home address? And he said, well, you can put in mine if you want. Right? And he kind of laughed. Right? And I said, why would he be laughing at him putting in his home address? And he said, because, dummy, if you make sales or when you make sales, they are going to send you a check to that address. So it's probably a good idea that you give them your address. I said, that makes sense. And I said, is it the same with my PayPal address? He said, yeah, feel free. If you want to put in put in my PayPal address, you can, but I'm going to make your commissions. I said, okay, I get it. And it was being explained in real terms to me. So suddenly I filled out my details. And what did they do? They give you a website like this, www. Let's say that the website is called abc.com. And they give you your own unique link. Now, I know some of you, by the way, fully understand this, right? Just bear with me for a moment, please, because there are some who have no idea about this. They'll give you your own unique link. And all you do as the marketer is send traffic to this. So this is the business here on the right, okay? They're going to give you this link here, the abc.com/Paul. This is all I need to promote it to this person here. So when I give this link to the client here and they buy, the money goes to the business and the business gives you what you're owed. Now, the natural reaction of people who haven't seen this before go, but how can you trust the business? When you sign up as an affiliate, they have a website that you can go in at any point and track exactly how many sales that you're making, how much money you're owed, and when you're going to receive your next check, PayPal money, or bank transfer. Right? So that's how that works in essence. So I want to kind of move in now to picking the pace up a little bit. So this is the way to go for sure. So what the challenge then is, well, how do we address the two key issues here of not wanting to create your own products? Okay. How do we get, number one, products and excellent ones, and two, sales pages that work? Three, real people who will follow up for you. So you can just focus on the marketing. Four, constantly update the products. And five, products, most important one for big wins quickly, high ticket. So Joseph is asking about, so how do you make the 750K? This is exactly it, Joseph. So if you don't understand the foundations, it won't make sense to you, right? High ticket. This means products anywhere from, let's say, $500 to $100,000. That's a high ticket product. So this is what you're looking for. Because if you're selling a product for $10,000 and your commission is 50%, you make $5,000 with one sale. As opposed to if your commission was $25 and you had to sell two to make $50 to make $5,000, you'd have to do that another 100 times more. Okay? So this is what I was looking out for. It didn't exist back in 2011, 2012, and I certainly didn't become aware of it until about 2015, when one of my previous students said, Paul, I need to talk to you. I've just made, at that point, over $1 million selling somebody else's stuff in a very short space of time, right? And I basically said, I don't believe you. I know you, but I don't believe you. This must be some form of scam, right? I don't know how that could be possible, right? And that's when he said, you need to be introduced to this guy, right? And he introduced me to this guy called Matt, okay? And I went along to an event without anybody knowing who I was. Well, some of the people in the crowd knew who I was, but certainly the organizers didn't. And I said, I want to sit in as a student to see what this is, because I'm in a very unusual position, which has great responsibility, but it also has great benefits. In that if I recommend something, people won't even do their own research. Usually they'll just say, Paul said so, I trust him, I'm going to go for it. So I said, if I'm ever going to promote other people's stuff, especially high ticket, I always promote like ClickFunnels and lead pages and products like that, you know, they're $100 a month maximum. But I've never promoted anything other than my own that was over a few thousand. And Teresa's saying there, seriously, Paul, do people really spend that amount of money? I don't believe it. The answer is yes and no, but mainly no, Teresa. They don't spend the money online. They spend the money in workshops, right? And that kind of leads me into how this whole thing works. So I went to one of their workshops. Like, there's no way if you get an email and says, hey, press here to pay $20,000, you're not going to do that. But you could go to an event for free to be convinced to do this, or pay for an event to go and do this. So how this works, so I went and I sat and I asked to meet the owner and pretended to be a student, and I was very interested to listen to see how he would treat me as a normal person. And then I asked the guy who knew me to introduce me, and I sat and I talked to him, and his guy's name was Matt, right? And he set up a company called My Own Business Education, right? Which has paid out now over $50 million in the last 2 years, $50 million in commissions. So I was reluctant enough around it. Yes, is the answer C to your question. I was still reluctant. So what I said was, so this is how it works, right? And this is why I want to talk to you through this, because I'm very honest with what my opinions and stuff, and I'll give my thoughts, good and bad, about something, right? The first thing you give away, or the first thing is there's always like a free gift, but let's say after the free gift, the first product is $49, right? And what that is a 21-step program that shows people how to make money online, and it includes a live personal coach, which for most beginners in online marketing is an absolute no-brainer, because not only do you get the steps, but you get a coach to hold you accountable and get you to do it. So I liked this angle, okay? Now, the next step after that is they have workshops, right? So they have workshops. So you either go to a free so let's just do this. They go to a 3-day workshop. And the 3-day workshop is, I think it's $497, right? $497. And at that, they offer you a license to sell their products, right? Where you get 50% of a $2,500 product. Right? So you would get 50% commission, right? Once you sign up for $2,500, you can get a 50% commission on this, which means you are now officially promoting a high ticket product, because your commission on this will be $1,250. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense so far. Now, the results of this event are pretty phenomenal in terms of the amount of people that go from here to here, right? Like nothing I'd seen before. So I asked, could I attend, first of all, and I was allowed to attend, and I watched it, because I was expecting unbelievably, let's say, very American approach to hardcore selling, right? So what I actually asked is, I asked, can I deliver this? This is how much effort I go to before I check something out. I asked the owner, Matt, could I deliver the 3-day workshop in London, right? And he said, no problem. He gave me all the presentations, gave me all the slides. And I said, he was like, here are the videos, you can watch them. I said, no, I just want to present this in my own style. Telling people exactly how it is, telling people not everybody loves every product. So this mightn't be for you. This is the reasons why it may not be. These are the reasons why it could be, right? So that you just give people an option and be honest. And what I always found works best. That's why I talk this through in my own way and explaining it on a whiteboard for you, okay? And I never ran a workshop like it before, in that the amount of conversions and the amount of money that was made over those 3 days was like nothing I'd ever seen before. The average person at the workshop was spending over $5,000, the average person. And this was something I'd never seen before, right? Because after the $2,500, what they offered, so this is a license to sell products at high ticket. And it also gives you a library of products, high ticket products that you can sell, anywhere up to $1,000, $1,500. So you have unlimited products to sell in the arena of online marketing. So what they're teaching at each step is to show businesses how to make money through online marketing, how to make more money, or if you've never had a business before, how to get started with an online business. Obviously, this is one of the most in-demand services in the world, okay? To show people, turn your screen around, please. I'm not sure what you mean there, Anthony. Because I kept the screen the same way around there, so maybe you've just joined us or something. So this is what I'm writing on here, Anthony. Okay, I think everybody else can see it. Okay, so what they offer then is they offer, so you get the license to sell $1,200 to $500 products, you get 50%, and then have a mastermind, and the mastermind is somewhere exotic like Mexico. What else? So the question from KD is, what do you mean by a high ticket? So this is how you go higher. It's a mastermind. So it's a 4-day mastermind in somewhere beautiful, basically, where they bring people in. It's not like a multi-speaker event full of pitches and so on. It's just where they're showing you how to drive traffic. It's called the Titanium Mastermind, right? And they bring in experts around the world, including the likes of me. So I asked to speak at this as well. Now, not just to get a trip to somewhere exotic. I wanted to see the quality of the speakers. I wanted to see what they were talking about. Costa Rica, absolutely, Brian, that's another place. I wanted to see that, again, if I'm recommending this, that I'm going to be happy to do it. So, and I'll never forget, the next one I went to was, so this costs about, give or take, I think, let's say $8,000, $9,000, right, to go on that 4-day. It's for 2 people to go away, all inclusive. Just want to, I suppose you'd say at that price, right? And then they have another one that's next after that for around 17,000, which is much longer than that. Let's say a week, right? And at that one, so this one is about traffic. This mastermind. This traffic is about investing. Sorry, this workshop and mastermind is about investing. Okay? And then they have one more after that, of course. So this is called a funnel, right? And it's a 10-day one, and it's 30,000. So Teresa, this is where you're going to get a bit of a heart attack here when you start to realize that people absolutely pay this to learn how to do these things. Not everybody, of course, right? Not everybody, of course. Someone's asking Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins charges $100,000 for his mastermind annually, right? Okay, that just gives you an idea of what high ticket actually means. So this mastermind is for traffic, to show you how to do to promote better your $49. The investing is for how to trade better, invest better, because as the money comes in, how do you mind it better? And the 10-day one is how to sell a business, how to set up a business to sell a business. Okay, so you can see it's completely different level of business owners that go to these at different points. Okay, now the affiliate. So this is the difference now for me in terms of what do you decide to do. Even I know, right, with my experience, I have no intention of creating $20,000 boot camps or $30,000 boot camps. It's not something I'm interested in, because these sales to go from here to here and here to here and here to here, they don't happen by pressing a button on a website. They have a sales team. They have phone teams. They have people that show up at the events. There's people who talk you through those specifics of, okay, what do you need in your business? What are you looking for? Let's see how we can plug the gaps on that. Let's see what we can do with you with social media and all the other different things that can be done. For example, in this sell your business, they create the entire funnel for your business for you and so on, right? But I'm giving you the full picture, right? So if you could just resist on your, there may be resistance, there may be, this sounds amazing. There's going to be a mixture of both on the call. So I'm going to give you my upsides and downsides of both before we wrap up, okay? So the value for me is this, right? You as a marketer, this is you here. or me. All you need to focus on is this. How do I get people to buy the $49 product, right? And they actually have a free gift, which is what you can give away. You give away the free gift, and the upsell is to $49, right? You give away a free gift. So all you focus on is the top of the funnel, right up here. This is the extent of the marketing you need to do, which means you focus on getting good at one thing, focusing on driving targeted traffic. For example, Facebook ads, that you just purely focus on getting good at Facebook ads, rather than worrying about product creation, customer service, follow-up, sales, all the other difficulties and the headaches, competing on prices, competing on service, all those things that come with product creation, and of course, remembering that most businesses, fail. So that's traditional businesses, by the way, not online. So once I started to go along to it and I started going through this, I said, you know what? I'm actually going to invest. I'm going to buy all of these levels, right? I bought this, 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 and I bought this. And every marketer in my own business education, there's no exception made. If you're promoting it, nobody's giving anything for free, right? Nobody's giving anything for free. You have to, if you want to go on obviously away to mastermind for 4 days and in a beautiful resort for 2 people, all inclusive, people have to pay for it, obviously, right? But I went to all of them to make sure that if I'm going to be promoting this, I could tell. I remember at the Platinum, this one here, $17,000. A gentleman got up while I was speaking. This is on about day 3, and he stood up and he said, "I want to address this to you, Paul, and to you, Matt." He said, "If I never make a penny from promoting this, this was still worth triple what I paid." And I actually was flabbergasted that somebody got up and said that, having after paid about 25 grand at that point. And he got a round of applause. He got a round of applause. I was like, oh my God. And that told me everything. The quality was exceptional. In fairness, the guy before me was a billionaire. He was a billionaire speaking about trading and investing and showing people what they needed to do to protect their assets, protect their pensions. Like everybody at the moment, for example, the stock market has been going up since 2009, nonstop, up and up and up and up. And people's pensions are starting to look decent again. I was just chatting to a student today and I said, what's your protection on the downside there? What happens when the crash comes? He said, what do you mean? I said, there's a crash going to come. It's inevitable. I can't tell you if it will be today, tomorrow, or the next 5 years, but everything that goes up will come down. And he said, I don't know. I think I need to ask my financial advisor. Right? So, well, I think he's probably the last guy you need to ask, right? But these kind of things, like, how do you protect it and lock in these profits? Basic things. I suppose they're basic when you know what they are, but just kind of advising you on these sort of things that will save you a lot of money in the long run. Okay, so how it works commission-wise is you get up to 90% of the $49 as an affiliate. You get 50% of the workshop as an affiliate. You get 50% of the $2,500 once you have invested the $2,500 yourself. Okay, once you've done that, and it's the same with all of these. So the 8,000 one, you get about, I'm not sure exactly that's 8,000. Let me just make sure that's right. 8,000. Yeah. So here you get 3,300 when you're at there. Here you get 5,500. This is as a commission, and here you get $10,000. So I had a day recently, in literally a 10-minute period, 2 emails come in and said, you've just made $10,000. 2 emails, and I had done absolutely nothing. This is what I mean by passive, right? So what do I do? How have I been able to make $750,000, right? By the way, there's a guy in there now, he's 22 years of age, called Stephen. Maybe he's 23 now, Stephen, and he's making $500K per month. Per month. I'm 23 years of age, right? 23 years old and 510,000 per month, right? Now, this is when you kind of realize there's something missing, even for me, right? Because I was looking at these numbers. It's the start of the year. I said, this is ridiculous. I've made 750K and I'm doing nothing. I'll tell you what I do. I give the 49. I recommend the $49 to people, right? And I say, right, I suggest you test it out for $49. Get the live coach for 21 steps, right? And if you're not happy, just come back to me, right? And that's all I've done. Not pushed it. I've said it's not for everybody. If you want to test it out, you can test it out, okay, on me, right? So that's something I'll tell you about in a moment. And that, just by doing that, no marketing, right? This is the first time I'm doing a webinar to my list, or it's actually still only a portion of my list. I did a minor one before, but this is to a slightly larger portion of this, to talk to them, to talk through this, or what my thoughts are on it. Now, what you need to realize is this, right? If you were going to, like, if you're looking at any of the masterminds and you're spending this money, right, 8,000, 17,000, this is me telling you as your coach, and I can't say I'm your friend because I don't know all of you, but let's say as a friend or someone that you can trust at least. I'm reluctant for you to buy anything more than $2,500 or invest more than that until you've proven to yourself that you know how to market, right? Until you've made at least one sale at this price point, there's no point going any further, right? Because you haven't proven to yourself yet that you're going to put the time and effort and energy in. And I prefer, being perfectly honest with you, I know this costs me money, but it doesn't matter to me. I prefer you to be successful, right? I would prefer if you kept that money for your ads, right? I would prefer if you kept that money, right, for your ads until you make at least one sale where you make 1,250. So I tell you what, that's going to be the happiest day of your life at that point. Getting an email saying, guess what? You've just made a silver sale. That's what this is called, silver. 1,250. Then, and I'll also be notified because there's just two parts. It's a high ticket affiliate system. If you make a sale, I get 10%, right? If you haven't, okay, let's talk about this last bit. If you haven't upgraded to these, right, which you won't to begin with, they all come with time. Let me put on a little highlighter color here to see how this works, right? If you haven't, oh, screw it up, here we go. If you haven't gone to this point or this point or this point, right, the affiliate commission, this, and this, right, it doesn't get lost. It doesn't go back to the company. It goes to me truly, right? So I tell people to relax because I send you a little gift. I send you a little gift. When your sales start coming through, I give you a percentage back to encourage you to put it towards your upgrade, right? Now, no one else does this. No one does it at all, right? But I do because I know that if you become a better marketer and if you focus on getting the basics right, you can promote anything that you like. You can promote this for now. You can promote my affiliate program, and ultimately you will be happier. You feel less stress. You've proven to yourself you're making money, so now you're ready to invest more, if that makes sense, right? So when you get to this level, now you're promoting a high ticket product, 1,250, and I then give you back a cut of what you made for me, right? And people think that's exceptionally generous. I think no. I think that's fair. I think, you know what? This is a business. You don't want to go mad. If you haven't made any sales online before, you don't want to take this massive risk and put money you don't have into it. So we just go, we test it. And this is what I'm doing that's unique this year. I've never done before. I'm going, for anybody that decides that they're interested in this, right, and that they want to test this out. Oops, Daisy, we've gone to the wrong page here. Pause this for a second. We'll go back to the white screen. Here we go. Anybody that's, this sounds interesting to you already, right? What I'm going to do this year is I'm actually going to start reaching out to people who are promoting this, and I'm going to offer you ways of promoting this, and I'll explain ways that you promote it, actually help you promote this, because it's a complete win-win situation. So as I said, the entire thing has been passive for me so far. So now I actually want to go to a place and say, you know what, guys, if this is something you want to do, come in here at this level, right? No, I have to do it again. Okay, $49 here, right? Get your live personal coach. He'll walk you through the 21 steps and he'll encourage you to come here. Right? He will encourage you. There is absolutely no requirement to. You're still going to be able to promote this, right? But if you want to make bigger chunks quickly, that's where you go. Anything beyond that, you probably need to contact me because, and I just tell you to. I need to talk to you basically, or at least figure out what your experience is like. Because if you've done it before and you've made plenty of sales online before, it's a no-brainer, right? But if it's still new to you, tread carefully, right? You don't want to overspend or overstretch. Okay. Yeah. So David, there's a few people here now that are saying, "Yeah, Paul, I've done there." David's saying the program is very well presented and thoroughly professional, right? And I like hearing this from people that are based in the UK because we're a lot more critical, I guess, of certain styles of training. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So Steve is saying, I've heard some people that have overstretched themselves doing this. Okay, absolutely, Steve, right? That's why I recommend you do this in a smart way, right? You be clever about it. You don't do something that. So Robert's saying, I'm a newbie. So Robert, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a link to this, right?